Okay, welcome back to another episode of The Art of Struggle. My name is Fatai, and I'll be your host. I talk about CG, games, movies, pop culture, the industry, much more, all that other fun jazz. But today I wanted to talk about my background, who I am, what I do, and why I do what I do. Um, I wanted to document my process for becoming financially independent. I am not financially independent yet, so I am no guru on financial independence. I am just learning. I'm a student of financial independence, and I want to get there. And I'm going to pretty much just go through my process, why I do what I do, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who probably can relate. And if you can't, well then, this ain't for ya. Okay, so my name is Fatai Opawoye. You can call me Ty, T-A-I, like a tie you wear, Ty. All right, not Fatay, not Fatu, not Fantan, which I have gotten all of those. But yeah, it's Fatai. I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria. I do speak Yoruba, which is my native language. I do have an accent under all of this American, we like to call it phone, which is the American accent that I put on so that you can understand me. I can also talk like this if you want. I can keep it 1000 with you 100% of the time. But I do not talk like this because it is harder for people to understand me. You will say, hey, what are you saying? But I talk like this so you can understand me. I even put on these glasses. Yeah, these aren't real prescription. I have 20/20 vision. It's like, nah. But, yes. I was born and raised in Nigeria. I came here when I was 10. My parents are medical practitioners. They're in the medical field, and that's pretty much where most of my family resides. So, for me to be an artist, you know that was an issue. I went something along the lines of, you want to be an artist, you're going to be hungry, you're going to be broke. My son wants to be an artist. But that's what I knew I wanted to do. My dad was pretty supportive, so I'm not going to act like, my dad was pretty supportive. He said, hey, no matter what you do, if you want to sweep floors, if you want to clean, whatever you got to do it to the best of your abilities, and you will be successful in my eyes. So I always kind of listened to my dad on that note, where he said, just follow your dreams, do what you want to do, but do it to the best of your ability. Don't shortchange, don't skimp, don't take shortcuts, just hard work, and it'll pay off. All right, so that is a little bit about my background. Mom's nurse, dad's pharmacist. My uncle is a pediatrician. I mean, it's in my even my sister. She's being a doctor or a pharmacist right now. So my older sister's a doctor. It's in the family. That's all I gotta say. I wanted to be an artist from the moment I understood what drawing was. I loved cartoons growing up, and I used to watch cartoons. I'm like, man, I want to make cartoons. That's what I want to do. I don't care what everybody else is doing, but I want to make cartoons. And then I realized that to do that, I had to go to school. So I was like, all right, let me figure out how to do it. I wasn't the best at school. I mean, I was like a C student at best. I mean, if I'm being 1000 with it, you know what I'm saying? I was like a C student. I could have been an A student. I could have like put in all the effort, but like I was like, man, I'm gonna be drawing my whole life, And then I drew a lot. I drew a lot of pictures. But there's one thing to be good to your mom, and then there's another thing to be good in general. So when I first got into school, I went to a community college, and I pretty much was trash. I barely went to class. I was doing all the stuff I was not supposed to be doing. All right, so I left the community college to pursue a much more noble goal of being a movie maker. yes, I wanted to make movies for a while. And I did make some shorts, and they were alright. It was fun. I still enjoy the process of, that little stuff of making movies, and I just, something about that always enamored me, and I wanted to do it. So I did it for a while, and I probably wasn't very good at it. But if you know me, and you're probably going to get to, because I'm making all these vlogs and stuff, I have like undiagnosed like ADD or ADHD, whatever that thing is. Like my parents or my teachers would always call my parents like, your son is never sitting down, all that stuff. And my parents would come to school, you have to sit down and do your work. You have to do, like, all right, whatever, I got this. But continuing on, so I went to community college, kind of flunked out of that because it really wasn't, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no direction. I knew I wanted to do art, and I knew I liked to draw. So my aunt told me about the Art Institute, and that there's a school, and you can go there and you can become an artist, and you can do this. And I got into school, and I was like, yo, this is cool. It was like, I describe it as like Hogwarts for artists, because like there was no like safe haven for artists in like conventional universities, in my opinion. So the Art Institute was like Hogwarts. You walk in, there's like the anime kids, and they're doing and they're dressed in the shit. And you're like, damn, that's what's up, yo. What are y'all doing over here? Let me find out. It's cool. There's the fashion kids. They're like the cool kids of the, there's the film department. They do their film thing, and it was like Hogwarts. There's even culinary. You can go there, eat food, hang out with the chefs, and then there's like the animation department. That's where the big boys hang out, and that's how it kind of was. There's later on there became the photography department, and there's graphic design and stuff like that, which I thought was like lesser than 3D animation at the time. I don't know why. It's just as hard a discipline, but that's how it was like Hogwarts to me. It was like you got to go to this magical school, and then there's these people who do what you want to do, who like the things that you like. You like anime, there's anime kids for you. You like fashion, there's fashion kids for you. You like movies, there's movie kids for you. And that's how I felt like it was. It was just this place where all these creative minds could come together, and then they could do like these projects, and they, you grow as an artist, and And for the first couple of years, it was like that until AI started going through all the bullshit and financial nonsense that that it went through. And I think the idea of the Art Institute is beautiful. Like it's an amazing idea. It's something that should exist regularly without like the crazy financial burden it puts on the people that go there. I think the idea of it, because I met some people that are still my friends today, people that got me most of the jobs that I have in the industry today, and those people are, they have my back. They've had my back since I was in school, professors that give you so much information and get you ready for the industry, and even they weren't treated right, in my opinion, by the institution itself. But I feel like the idea of it is so good, but the idea of it now is done just as well online and online forums. That there are places that you can go and get that atmosphere. But it just brought it all together for me, and I felt like I was in the right place at the right time when I was at the Art Institute, and that's how it felt for me. I felt like I could be my own person. I could reinvent myself. I could skate, and it was cool to, I could skate to school. I skated to school. That's how I got around, and it, So the Art Institute was cool. I went through, did my little 4 years. But the experience for me was very interesting, because to get into the department, or the animation department, you had to have a portfolio. And I had a little portfolio to come in. I drew a lot, so I had like a bunch of drawings that I could show to the head of the department. And he was like, well, these are more design work, because I did like a lot of design when I was in school. I was a hustler when I was in high school. Like you know, tear up some jeans and like make distressed jeans, and I'd like coffee stain them and get like some I was doing distress look before it was, you know, just before it was cool, you know. Shit, Kanye stole all that rip shit from me. It's like, nah. But, you know, I was really entrepreneurial minded when I was growing up, and that I would attribute to my parents and my upbringing and how I was raised. So, you know, I've always wanted to be my own boss. I've always wanted to be in control of my own destiny, just because of how I saw my father and how he did his thing, you know. So going to AI, I was like, man, you just got to learn these skills and I can do my own thing. And what it was that's funny, what it was, but me and my friends, I had three tight-knit group of friends, and one of them was an actor, the other was like the movie director, and I was going to be like the special effects like slash director slash like the producer guy who made everything happen, you know. And that was our thing. We were gonna take the industry by storm, and we all kind of split up to go like pursue it, and then we were gonna kind of meet back up and bring all of our collective learned skills together to make the holy trinity. We were gonna, you know, take the industry by storm. And what I first realized when I first got to school was that I am a terrible 2D artist. I'm not, like, it's not that I can't be good, because it's a skill that you can learn over time. It was just that, like, physically my hand hurts. You know, when I learned like 2D animators, like, you're just drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing, and you know, your hand freaking hurts. Like, I salute all the animators out there, all the 2D traditional. I salute you guys, you know, like. And I realized another thing about myself. I am terrible at animating. Like, I'm terrible at analyzing life. Like, watching people's walk cycles and being able to put that nuance in the step and all that shit. I am trash at that stuff. But what I am good at is modeling, creating 3D objects, so to speak. You know, like being able to break that down and seeing all the components of it. And I enjoyed like learning how the mechanics of different things worked so that I can put it back together in 3D, unwrap it and texture it. And I loved learning that process. And I spent most of like to graduate, like just to learn it, I would sit at my desk and I would model every single object on my desk, you know, just so I can get familiarized with the tools and the concepts and all that stuff. And I would literally every single thing on my desk, I would go from there to everything I saw, then model that. And I have like lost models that like thousands and thousands of things that I've modeled that never even saw the light of day or never got posted or anything like that. And that was my personal learning process for all that stuff. So that's pretty much how I got into the 3D aspect of it. Was I realized, because they mix you, they throw you in and they give you different classes of like, you can, you know, you take 2D classes, 3D classes, color theory, and then you know, I'm telling you, it was like Hogwarts for artists, man. It was magical. You know, you get to take all these, you know, fundamentals and you build up on what you want to do, and then by your second and third year, you're deciding, all right, this is what I want to major in, this is what I want to do full time, you know. And they let you really live those, you know, those creative processes out, you know. And they even let you mix classes if you want, so you can go into fashion for like a quarter, or you can take a culinary class, or, you know. And it was Hogwarts, art Hogwarts, that's what I call it. And so yeah, that happened. I went to AI, and I was pretty decent at 3D. I'm not gonna say I was the best, because I wasn't the best at that. I pretty much, you know, partied, did the college things that I did the college thing. You know, I had my own place, so I was like, yo, let's kick it, let's do this. You know, artist. I lived the artist life. You know, and but at night when everybody went home, I was modeling. I was doing, you know, towards the end of my tenure at the Art Institute, I modeled nonstop. Like, I would just take my work. My dad bought me a PC that I still own to this day, and I would just go home and just do all my homework at home. And I wouldn't even stay for like just to do the work at school, because they would have computer labs and stuff that you could work. But I would just take my stuff home and boom, 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 bust it out at school, bust it out at home, you know. And that's how I pretty much did all my stuff throughout school was, you know. And you make a bunch of friends along the way, and those friends have inevitably helped me get into school or get into my first job. So the way I got my first job in the industry was I was a pretty broke college student at the time, even though I worked part-time my entire time through, you know, school. I worked retail, you know, little freelance gigs, whatever I could get my hands on to get you know, give me a little cash so I could do what I wanted to do, you know. But yeah, one of my friends, I'm not going to mention his name, but he said, hey, the studio I work for, they need some zombies. Would you like to be a zombie for the day? It's like $150. And to me, $150 was like $1,000 at the time. So you know I was there. We packed into this like one car. It was like 6 of us. They needed a few zombies. Packed in. I was squeezed in, you know. Drove all the way down, and we went to this studio called Picture Plane, and it's called Picture Plane Imaging, and they do key art for major people in the industry, which is like Hasbro, Mattel, Star Wars. They do awesome stuff. Like they did the cover for like Far Cry 5 and shit like that. So pretty big name, and they work really closely with the guy with another branch in California, and they send back and forth, and they get jobs and stuff like that. So we went there, Picture Plane, and I'm a zombie. Like I'm a zombie, and it ends up like on the box art for a game. I can't even remember the game now, but I was a zombie for a box art, and I was like, hey man, this is awesome stuff. Like, what do you guys do here? And they kind of explained it to me, and I was like, well, I'm about to graduate and I do stuff like this. I could be a 3D modeler for you guys. And they were like, really? Okay. Send us your resume. Just like that, you know. And I sent them my resume. And it was, I mean, they called me for an interview, I think, after I graduated, like 6 months after I graduated. And I worked there for a good couple of months. And it was a really dope place to work. Really nice environment. The guys in there were super knowledgeable, super willing to teach you whenever you wanted something. Even like the owner of the company would pull me to the side sometimes and give me like little lighting tutorials on how to light for cover art and making your you know, just awesome insider knowledge. So never underestimate the power of asking. Just asking, and you will get some information, you know, like, or you will get your foot in the door. You never know how your foot in the door is gonna come through. So one thing I always got to say is, like, just be nice to whoever you're going to school with. Just be nice to your classmates, your colleagues, your teachers. You know, you never know if those are the people that are going to get you the job that you're going to have. You never know if those are, because those are the people that are going to be in the industry you're going to be working in. Unless you plan to move to another complete state or something like that. The people that you're sitting with in your classrooms, the people that are teaching you, those are the people that you're not only going to compete with in the industry, those are the people you're going to work with in the industry. And you don't want your reputation in the industry to be bad. You don't want, you know, you never know, you know. You might be interviewing with somebody you went to class with, and if you were a jackass to them or you were a dick, they're not going to hire you. They're be like, oh, look who it is, Captain Douchey Pants. All right, come on in. You're not getting the job, you know. So you don't want to be that guy. I was relatively nice, you know. I don't think I was a dick to anybody. You know, I might have been an ass, but I wasn't a dick. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I got my first gig in the industry. And it was well paying. Like, I never thought, you know, like, you know how you go to school and you're like, all right, somebody's gonna pay me to do this? Are you sure somebody's gonna pay me to do this? Somebody's gonna pay me to sit down and do this? All right, I'll take your word for it. But when somebody actually paid me to do it, I was like, all right, I see you, industry. I see you. I see you. So that was awesome for me. That was super awesome. And yeah, that was pretty much the story of my first gig in the industry. I will definitely talk more about little stuff like that, but that is pretty much was my introduction to like working full-time in the industry. On that, I always in the back of my mind wanted to still be financially independent. So while I worked there with a close friend of mine who we went to school together, you know, rock with since day one of my day ones, you know what I'm saying? We always, on our lunch break, we'd write stories. We'd write, you know, little comic books of what, you know, like the stories that we've had that we want to come true or we want to put out and stuff like that. And he was an amazing 2D artist. Like, one of the best 2D artists I have had the pleasure of knowing as a personal friend, you know? And, yeah, his name is Andy Estrada. I did an interview with him, and that's gonna be posted on later, so you'll get a few insights on how he does his stuff, how he gets his motivation, and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, we would just write stories back and forth, and try to get our ideas out, because I think a lot of the people who get into this, they have ideas, and because everybody's got ideas, you know, everybody has stories, but the thing about having ideas and stories is putting them out and being able to follow through on the story, the production, and stuff like that. And it's hard, you know, it's not something easy, you know, like companies have plenty of people who do their coloring, their inking, their, you know, sketches, their production. They have entire teams dedicated to that, and you doing it by yourself, it's going to be a lot of hard work and dedication. So that's something that I've always wanted, like that I always want to not make it sound like it's some easy thing to do, or, you know, something like that. So it's hard, and we've, you know, always wanted to do stuff like that. So like that's all through school, and then my first real gig. So yeah, that's just pretty much it. This is like me through my first job, still wanting to be financially independent, and the process of me, you know, getting there, you know, because at this point I ain't financially nothing. I'm so financially dependent during this period, it's not even funny. Like, financially dependent is an understatement. What's the word for a bum? A freeloading? I was pretty much a freeloading bum at the point, you know, like pretty much. Like I was pretty much comparatively, that was my status in life, you know. And it took me a very long time to even build a monicum of financial stability, you know, because before you can be financially independent, there's like a miles, that's miles down the road. Before you can even get there, you need to be financially stable. You try to be financial. And there's some people who skip the financially stable part and then just jump to that independent part. You know, there's some people who are like one payment away from eviction, one payment away from, you know, losing their car, one payment away from not having a meal, and they're living paycheck to paycheck. They're living hand to mouth, you know. The moment I get my check, the moment I spend it on whatever I need, and it's almost unfathomable for them to even think of being financially independent, talk less of financially stable, you know. So for me, I felt like I needed to get to financially stable before I got to being financially independent, you know. And man, it's been a long journey and I'm not even fully financially stable. I'm just getting to the point where it's like I ain't gotta look, you know, to see if what's off in the house, you know. The lights are on, all right, we good. Internet, oh shit, I'm cooling, you know. So I think there's a lot of hard work in between then and there that people have to understand that goes on, you know. And to even be financially independent, you have to be bold. You have to be brave, because it is hard. Shit's gonna fuck up, you know. You're gonna lose a lot of sleep. You're gonna lose a lot of friends. You're gonna lose a lot of time, you know, that you wish you had to do fun things, you know. You're gonna lose a lot of that because you are working on your own dream. You're working on your own life. You're working on your own goals. And I'm sorry to say, sometimes it's a very selfish endeavor, and you have to be prepared for all of that stuff to come. You know, like the Instagram models and the Instagram people, they make that shit look easy. They make it look, oh man, 3 sips of this flat tummy tea and you got abs like, you know, Channing Tatum. Not, you know, it's not, it doesn't happen like that. They don't tell you that they're doing 1,000 sit-ups a day on top of eating right, moving right, doing exercises, and then they drink the flat tummy tea and they're like, oh, look at my flat tummy. Motherfucker, it takes hard work, you know, but we live in such a society that valids, or that they require such instant gratification, you know, that instant validity, like I am valid now and I am this, and you know, that people really often overlook the hard work and dedication that it takes to get there. And that's what the art of struggle is all about, is the struggle that you know, I don't want to skip any, like, I ain't trying to skip no steps, because the people who skip steps, their fall is hard. You know, like the people who rise super fast, their fall is super hard. You know, I was just watching this documentary or this talk with what's his name, Scott Storch. Man, that guy, whew, like he made some crazy beats, had over $100 million. Lost all of it. I think he's living on royalties right now, but he's trying to make a comeback. He's cleaning up his life, you know, and the bounce back is just as exciting as, you know, just as exciting as probably the first time he got it. But now he's gonna do it right, and he's gonna have to do it slower, because he came up so fast. Like overnight, he was producing Dres for Dr. Dre, Eminem, and like really big names. You know what I'm saying? So I think that people who rise really fast, if they fall, their fall is really, really hard. So I want my climb up to be methodical, to be well thought out, to be, you know, you can't plan everything, but the things that you can plan it right, do it right, you know, so that your fall isn't some fall from grace, you know, because. And try not to shit on everybody on your way up either. You can't be shitting, you know, you just show up to your hood stunting on people, you know, that's how you get robbed, and that's how you know, because there's an old saying that's like the people that you shit on the way up are the people that you're going to meet when you come back down. You know, the people that you step on to get all the way up there are the people you're going to meet at the bottom. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to be that asshole. You don't want to be that dick. You know. This is, you know, part of my journey to financial independence. Hopefully, I will attain it. No, I will attain it. And that's what you should tell yourself too. You will attain financial independence. One day at a time. This is The Art of Struggle. My name is Todd, and I'm signing out. Peace.